What is the pettiest reason you can't date someone? My boss's daughter's ex-BF broke up with her because they had a Dyson and he said he wouldn't be able to keep up with her extravagant lifestyle. This is the most George Costanza thing I've ever heard. My wife has a Dyson, a KitchenAid stand mixer, and a Louis Vuitton purse. That guy was right. It's a steep hill to climb. She had the same name as my mom. Haha, had a BF once who had a sister with my same name. He called me by my middle name instead. I've gone by my middle name my entire life, to the point if someone says my given first name, it takes a time or two for it to register in my head that they're talking to me and not my dad. Dated a girl who insisted on calling me my first name. For about 6 months, I assumed she just had a negative association with someone having my middle name, but quite the opposite. Her older brother has my first name, and over that 6 months I came to understand she has a very close, codependent, weird as fuck relationship with her brother, and after meeting him and realizing we look physically similar, bald, tattoos, beard, I just noped the fuck out. His last name was Fister. Fister? I barely know her. Rectum? Damn near killed him. I had a guy break up with me in high school because God told him to. I was like, okay, guess I can't argue with that one. I had the opposite. A guy told me God said I'm his wife. I was like, cool, but he didn't tell me so. You'd think God would have at least told you about the plan. So rude. Was it after sex? I had this experience. We literally just had sex. He hopped out of bed, starts putting on his pants, and says, God didn't like what we just did. I'm a Christian. I think it's just an excuse. She insisted on hanging out at home. She lived with like 6 people, and they always had friends over. I felt like a BF extra on Friends or Seinfeld. Yeah, this is legit, I would have bounced too. She ate pizza with her hands. No, not like you think. She would scoop up the toppings in a messy pile and like an animal, claw them up and eat them, then rip the bread and eat it. We were at a fancy Italian place and I got horrified. Did she walk round in a little circle before sitting down? WTF, are you sure she was human? Definitely 3 raccoons in a trench coat. My wife once told me she couldn't be with someone who wasn't around the same level of intelligence as she. I have no idea how I'm going to keep it a secret that I'm a fucking idiot the rest of our lives. This is legitimately fair though. Girl I dated just out of high school was nice and all, but just pretty dumb. I'm far from a genius, but damn, it's a shitty feeling to try and pick words you think they'll understand. He ate with closed fists around his utensils like a toddler and his face right up to his food like someone was going to steal it. Sounds like an ex-con more than anything else. My friend who I hired right out of jail did this and ate over the sink at hyperspeed, like a raccoon getting caught in a trash can. I broke up with a pretty hot girl when I was younger because she didn't swing her arms when she walked. It just looked weird and reminded me of a gorilla. Really stupid reason, I know, but it just looked so stupid and I couldn't overcome it. Now I get it. My brother doesn't swing his arms at all. Doesn't help that he's also super tall and skinny, and in marching band so he's trained to walk super smoothly, so he just glides around like a tall Victorian ghost child. But I don't wanna make him self-conscious, so I say nothing. This comment has me cackling on my morning public transit. I also dated a girl in high school who did this. She also was hot, but I get what you're saying. It's so weird to see. Her arms just hung there off her shoulders like sticks or something, even when walking up and down stairs. It's a little unsettling. This thread is basically plot summaries from Seinfeld. This was my first thought too, lol. She smelled like soup. She had a large tattoo of a half zombie girl on her back. When doing her from behind, it'd feel like the tattoo's eyes were on me the whole time and it gave me the creeps. It's one of the very few moments where I felt like I needed to make up an excuse to peace out. It was hard af actively trying not to lose my erection when that happened. So no regrets about weaseling my way out. This is exactly the sort of content I clicked for. All these posts are talking about major compatibility stuff. No man. I asked for petty. That reminds me of a woman I met at a wedding once. She was a massive fan of Michael Jackson and wanted a full back piece of his face. Her BF dumped her BC. He didn't wanna be raw dogging it from behind and making eye contact with the king of pop. Can't blame him, to be honest. I can absolutely imagine hearing a high-pitched hee-hee during each thrust, and thus losing my shit every time. Couldn't do it. Ended things with a guy over various other reasons, but the most annoying was how many times he told me that he'd leave me for Miranda Lambert in a heartbeat. Which, okay, I get it, some people have a list of celebrities they'd leave their SO over, mostly as a joke. But this was like everyday, just randomly said, not related to the conversations we were having at the time. And he meant it. He made sure I understood that if for some godforsaken reason Miranda Lambert walked in through the front door, I was gone. Edit. Thanks for all the comments. I was surprised to read that many people didn't know who she was. Guess I was so familiar with her after hearing about her so often during that relationship. Haha. Pretend all you like that you ended things, but we all know Miranda Lambert gave him a call. Only went on one date, but he named his cat Creamy, and the way he said it grossed me out. This is my favorite comment on the whole thread, LMAO. This is the pettiness I showed up for. Most of the rest of these are just normal reasons not to date people. White spittle gathering at the edge of the mouth. I can forgive or overlook a lot of things, but that's an instant turn off. Edit. Every day is a school day. Apparently this can be a sign of dehydration or linked to another condition I've seen called angular cheilitis. Bro, you're dating people with rabies. No, they're not. Rabies is a turn off for them. To anyone who suffers from this, you're probably dehydrated. Wasn't my pettiness, but a girl I went on a few dates with wouldn't date me because she wanted to be the artistic one in the relationship, and she was worried that me being a musician would spoil that for her. Edit. Wasn't real deep into it. It was just a couple of dates. I don't feel negatively toward her. She was a nice enough person, lol. Also, music isn't my career. More of a passionate hobby. I work in it by day. This made me laugh really hard. Sorry that happened. Mayo, I laughed too. The funny thing is, she had no artistic talent whatsoever. She just wanted to live an artsy, whimsical life. I didn't like the way she ate a grilled cheese sandwich. There were more reasons, but this was the deal breaker. How did she eat it? 2 at a time. Like putting them on each other and making a super grilled cheese sandwich and then a lot of mayonnaise and then eating it, and then laughing with a stuffed mouth when I made a funny comment about it, so I could see what a grinded grilled cheese looked like. So also finished it before I ate my one grilled cheese. My grandparents were very southern. When I was a kid, I spent the night at their house and heard them wrestling. I heard my grandpa say my grandma's name, Sarah, but with his accent he said Sarah. I met a girl named Sarah who was also southern. When she introduced herself as Sarah, I had to nope out. It just gave me the heebie-jeebies. Chews with their mouth open. Open mouth chewing bothers me so much I have to leave the room. So does chewing ice. But in addition, when people eat with silverware and scrape it against their teeth when they pull it out kills me. I don't know if I'm insane or otherwise, but hearing someone chew open have me leave the room to not endure it further. Welcome to the club of people with misophonia. We meet once a month, sit in silence and try to breathe quietly. He wore fake glasses and didn't like vegetables. Fake glasses? Actually pretty popular back when I was in college, depending on how hipster your area is. Some people just think they look better with glasses with their face shape. A lot of the time they're right. Honestly, it's still a bit weird. Friends with voices that annoy me. This reminded me of Joey from Friends when Chandler was dating Janice. Inability to form a coherent sentence in text. Such a filler. Her favorite song was The Shape of You by Ed Sheeran. Hahaha, I don't know why, but this is the funniest one yet to me. I'm imagining like 15 minutes into first date you ask her what her favorite song is and she says that and you just stand up and walk away without saying anything else, lol. I instantly noped out of an otherwise fine blind date when she ordered apple juice, off menu, at a fancy restaurant. 19-year-old me only knew apple juice as a toddler's drink, and I just couldn't get past it. I'm no longer that petty, but I did make the mistake of mentioning this to my wife once, many years ago, and she now makes a habit of ordering apple juice whenever we're at a fancy restaurant, just to see if I squirm. It's the off-menu part that gets me. I know you motherfuckers got some apple juice back there. I can't date anyone with lip injections. It felt super unnatural kissing her, like kissing a baboon with rigor mortis. So you won't date someone with lip injections but you'll kiss a baboon? Question mark? A dead 1-2 op is one sick MF. People that like to debate too much. I'm all for having your own opinion, but when someone thinks they have to be the devil's advocate constantly, no thanks. Or just contrarians. I had an uncle like that. Doesn't matter what you said. Guaranteed he would say the opposite. Doesn't matter what you knew or how much you studied. He thought he knew more. Whatever your opinion, you were wrong and he was right. Every time. No exceptions. If their Instagram is nothing but selfies, especially if they're striking the same pose in every shot, I had a match like that and it honestly creeped me out. Or the same facial expression in every pic. That creeps me out big time. She did that thing with her voice where every sentence she said ended with a question mark. Follow up, since so many people have asked. She was not Australian. She's American. I think it's called upspeak. Loud person, no, I hate it. I actually went on a Tinder date last night. Outdoor seating. Everyone speaking quietly, or regular volume. She was basically yelling. She was so loud I couldn't wait for it to be over. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more Reddit videos.